Hey guys, welcome to the Bourboneering YouTube channel. I'm your host Austin. Let's get started. So this year, and hopefully every year, I'm going to be giving you a whiskey gift giving guide. Now there's thousands of these, some are better than mine, a lot of them are better than mine. But this is geared more toward the people who in your life know about whiskey but aren't whiskey enthusiasts. So it's not going to be like the best Christmas gifts, top 10 or whatever. I'm going to give you 4. I'm going to give you 1 Scotch and 1 bourbon that are for the person who enjoys the basic whiskey world but doesn't really jump in. And then I'm going to give you a Scotch and an American whiskey for people who are kind of above that line, looking for something more interesting but not necessarily a full-on enthusiast collecting the high-end bottle, which, if you can find it, then they definitely have it. So, kind of that lower range world that you don't really see in a lot of these videos. So that's kind of where I'm gearing this toward. So I'm going to give you my quick thoughts on a couple of these. Give you a quick taste, and I'm going to use the same glass, so forgive me. I got my Bourbon Society glass hat. Check them out. Alright, so let's start, as always, with my heart bourbon. This is for somebody who's had your basic makers. You've had your basic Buffalo Trace, but not much above that. I'm going with Maker's Mark 101. So this is something special that's kind of hard to find, but it's on the regular market now, so not as hard as you might think. It's 101 proof, so it's regular Maker's Mark with just a higher proof at a price point around $40 to $45, depending where you get it around me. It's still pretty available around me. I'm assuming it's pretty available all around. So give it a quick, just a little dash here, not much, just to give it a little try. If you know Maker's Mark, it's a beautiful wax. Maker's Mark itself is a beautiful gift for the novice. This is kind of just that extra step up here. Let's see. Of course, beautiful sweet wheat makers on the nose. A little bit more sparky in that alcohol. Sweet wheat. Very, it's just elevated makers. I got some apple skin here, some like green apple skin. Very good. Sweet, a little bit of baking spice, but really, like I said, that kind of appley sweetness, kind of caramelly. Very easy to drink. Even somebody who's never had makers would enjoy this in a cocktail. That's another reason I like it. It's higher proof. It's better. It stands up better in a cocktail as well. So it's a great gift idea for that $40 range. Perfect, I think. But I'm a Maker's fanboy, so what do I know? Rinse out my glass here. We'll move on to our bottom Scotch. Quick rinse. This is not scientific. I'm not giving any official reviews here. Oh, that'll clean it up. Just some sparkling water. It's kind of what I do when we're doing stuff like this. Alright, next in our Scotch world, kind of the same level, but in Scotch, I'm going with Highland Park 12. Now this again is somebody who's had the blended Scotch, had the Johnny Walkers, and maybe even had the Glenlivets of the nice, easy Highland Scotches that are real smooth, not much smoke. This brings in to me just enough peaty smokiness to kind of take that next step in the world of Scotch, but it's not going to break the bank. It's right around $45 to $50. But it's a nice, fancy bottle. It looks good as a gift. And it's delicious. It's one of my go-to Scotches. So let me give you some quick notes on this. What I've noticed with this bottle, very cool. It's a cork, but it also has threading. Very interesting. Kind of the best of both worlds. Over here. Again, real quick review. Very sweet. It's a Highland. I'm assuming it's a Highland single malt. But it's got enough smoke to be interesting. It's layered. Got that malty note. Let's see. Natural colors, heather, honey. Okay. Rich fruitcake. Yeah, I can get that. Some fruitcake. but it's not like it's fruitcake that's sitting in a smoker. Not super strong, but nice, malty. Let's give it a taste. Especially for the Scotch drinker that's kind of looking to take it to the next level. My grandfather drank Johnny Walker all his life. He loved Scotch neat, but never got into anything fancy. This is that step up. Like I said, it's around $50. It's a little bit more expensive than the makers, but that's just the nature of the beast in Scotch, in my opinion. Especially now with these tariffs and things like that. So keep that in mind for sure. Scotch drinkers are a little bit can spend a little bit more money. Cleaning my palate as well as my glass. I love this glassware. Very interesting shape. Glint counters are great, and that's what I do most of my tasting with. But these are some fun glasses for sure. Alright. Next, going back to my world of bourbon. Now, this is for the person who has a maker's mark, who gets the fancy bottles, the maker's special editions, the maker's picks, whatever. This is for the person who, even if they're deep in their whiskey journey and they want something interesting, it is. So first, I'm going to say 1792 Foolproof is great, kind of a step up from this maker's mark. But someone who's not, looking for something completely crazy like a Pappy, the real whiskey hunters. But even if you get that involved, take it to the next level and get a 1792 Foolproof store pick. So this one's from Red's in Nashville. It's got a cool tater sticker on the back. Store picks are interesting, and it's something that if you're in a different area than the person you're giving it to, they can't find that. Even if it's Maker's Mark, even whatever. Store picks are a great way to get, great thing to get the bourbon drinker that has all the bourbon. But 1792 Foolproof in general is great for kind of that next step down from there between the bourbon hunter and the Maker's Mark drinker. So, with this one taste, again, kind of kills two birds. It's a barrel pick, which I want to highlight. Barrel picks are great gifts in general. And 1792 Foolproof is kind of like the step up from the Maker's 101, in my opinion. So, put that right there. Let's see. Foolproof being 125 proof, that is barrel entry proof. That's the highest barrel entry proof a whiskey can have, a bourbon can have. But it's what Barton puts their juice in. Sadly, I still get some kind of the peat from this Highland Park in here. Like creme brulee. A lot deeper richness in the sweetness here. But a little bit more baking spice than the Makers. Again, I'm getting a little bit of peat from the 17. This is not a real tasting. I want to emphasize that. I'm sorry. Should have gotten 4 glasses, but I'm short on glassware right now. Like a banana sundae, like a ice cream sundae. A banana, chocolate covered, caramel covered. Delicious. Like bananas Foster, maybe. Man. Foolproof. 1792 has a place in my heart in general, but the Foolproof is just killer. Especially that pick. Good Lord. So, barrel picks and 1792 Foolproof in general. Great choices for even the hardened bourbon drinker. Ignore my water chugging. Alright. And finally, one more. Let's go to the world of Scotch. Now, I thought long and hard about this. I don't have any 18-year-old Scotch. I don't have any old Scotch. Now, that's obviously something that you can get a Scotch drinker and they'll love. Something older, something really expensive. But I want to kind of go to a different level. In a similar world to barrel picks or store picks, I'm going with a non-distilling producer, a bottling of Scotch. Distiller's Art is one. Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is another one. They buy barrels from distilleries and bottle themselves and sell it. It's the only way you're really getting a single barrel in Scotch, or a barrel pick, because I don't really do barrel picks in Scotland as much as the US. This one in particular, I'm going to tell you about, is from Distiller's Art. It is a Glengoyne barrel. It was distilled in 2008, bottled in 2018, so it's 10 years old. It is aged in a single refill hogshead. So that means hogshead is usually used like, it's a bigger barrel. It's usually for like, I think port. It's for a type of wine. And single refill means they aged the port in it, drained the port, sent it to the Scotch distillery. They filled it once, drained that, and this is that very next fill. It's non-chill filtered natural color. This is a cask strength Scotch, which to me is rare. At least on the baseline of Scotches, it's very rare. I got this for like $30-something, but these can range. I didn't want to give a price because these can range from $30 up to like $200, $300 if it's a really fancy thing. So that's very. I can't give you a price, but it's something that's very, very unique. So this is like bottle 226 or 269. So that's of this release. That's all there is. It's 58.2% alcohol. That is the highest proof Scotch that I've ever tasted. So let's give it a try, shall we? Just a little bit, because I'm not trying to get too crazy. All right. Again, this is for the more advanced Scotch drinker for sure. Ooh, oh, that's delicious. Creamy, like I get the port. I'm assuming port finish here, or sherry. Very, very creamy, rich strawberry. Very fruity. A little bit of saltiness, brininess, but not necessarily smoke. Oh, that nose is amazing. That's a fantastic nose. And I'm usually a smoky Scotch guy, but this is amazing. Alright, let's give it a taste. I hate the word, but it's smooth. It doesn't taste like a 58% alcohol. It's like a 40% alcohol. It just runs down, but it's full of flavor. That salty note really makes me want to go in for another sip. That sherry thickness is there, creaminess, like a strawberries and cream, but I don't really get a strawberry note. It's more like a malty, creamy, like a really good whole milk in a cereal kind of, like Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios. Sweet, yet enough salt to offset that and balance it. Super balanced. This is fantastic. Yeah, that is so good. Alright. That's my favorite of the four. But just a quick review on your bourbon side of things. For your basic, you want to give something that's not just a regular Maker's Mark, but the person's not really a huge enthusiast, go with this Maker's 101. It's great in a cocktail, if nothing else. It stands out. But it just takes regular Makers and just right to the next level. When you go past that to the, little higher, but not quite the bourbon enthusiast, go 1792 Foolproof. If you got the bourbon enthusiast, go with the 1792 Foolproof store pick. They're pretty abundant right now. But even that, just any store pick that you trust, that does any store that you trust is a unique pick, they'll point you in the right direction. It'd be a great gift that they can't get anywhere else. Go into the world of Scotland and Scotch. Highland Park 12 is kind of your above your baseline single malts and well above your baseline blends. Fantastic. It's got the smoky element, but it's also got the sweet berry element that you get from Highland Park or Highland region. Excuse me. You want to go up to the enthusiast? Go get a independent bottler edition. This Distiller's Art is one company. Like I said, comes out the blender. Scotch Malt Society. Scotch Malt Society is another great one. Those are a little more pricey. They're picking great barrels that they know that their members will love. So that's kind of your next level, and they're around. They're a little bit harder to find, but they're still easier to find than like a 18-year-old Macallan or something like that. So that's what I got. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you out with the whiskey lover in your life. Thanks for watching all. Cheers.